On a night thick with new snow, Chicago's holiday market pulses with energy. Lights burn bright across Daly Plaza, reflecting off glass and wet stone, while the tang of hot cider and bratwurst floats on sharp winter air. Laughter rides out over the music, but at one market corner, the world hushes. Weston, a man dressed in black wool, his shoes shined, his hands wintry and strong, kneels beside a wheelchair. It's Emma in that chair, knees tucked under a patchwork blanket, small fists clenched against the cold. She looks right through the crowds, right through Weston. Her voice trembles but holds. Please, don't adopt me. Adopt my mom instead. Everything freezes. Sarah, at her coffee cart, turns in time to see her daughter's eyes, and Weston's, wet with surprise and something rougher. For a second, Sarah and Weston's eyes meet. Something charges the cold, quiet as forbidden lightning. Frost clings to the cart, Christmas bells blur out the next moment. Have you ever given up everything, just for love? Weston's hand lifts for Emma. But then, bells ring so loud no one hears his answer. That day started with red hands rinsed under freezing water. Sarah laced Emma's boots, patched her old coat, and remembered dreams she left back in Detroit, dreams about white hospital halls and textbooks open past midnight. Now, her life pulses in the bus's hard seats. The smell of gasoline, bags bumping legs, a neighbor pressing a donut into Emma's hand with a wink. All morning, Sarah glances at overdue bills in her pocket, then at her girl's smile. Hope flickers, fragile. Emma teases Sarah about her hair, making Sarah laugh, a real, quick laugh, like it used to sound. The apartment window fogs with their breath. Sarah thinks about old moments. Her younger self, bright and in love, tracing lines down her neck in a mirror, daring someone to touch her, to see her. But now she knots her scarf tighter, bracing for the market wind. Not far away, Weston stands at his penthouse window, watching city lights ripple across the lake. The world is silent behind glass, family photos half hidden near liquor bottles. Coins rattle in a jar on the coffee cart. Cold presses close. When Emma drifts to sleep that night, frost webs her lashes. Sarah closes the window, heart heavy but tender. Outside, sirens howl down a side street. Sarah's phone buzzes with an overdue notice, and she draws Emma near. Christmas jazz stumbles through speakers while Weston walks the market under falling snow. Around him, laughter, boots on wet pavement, couples huddling for warmth. But Weston's mind turns to childhood winters, ice in the pipes, quiet arguments behind a thin door. Then he sees Emma. She isn't part of the crowd. Her eyes fix on him and everything around fades. He kneels, heart pounding in cold ribs. Sarah, pouring coffee for a neighbor who once tried to love her, senses the stranger's attention before she looks up. Weston's focus lands on her like a challenge. For a second, her cheeks glow with heat, his eyes say he sees her, really sees her, and the moment frightens and stirs. Emma breaks the quiet, asking Weston if he's ever felt lonely. He hesitates, then admits, every day. Emma's honesty sneaks under his careful walls. Sarah watches the two, Weston's careful questions, Emma's calm replies, her daughter's trust in a man she met 5 minutes before, something inside her aches. She wipes her brow, hands shaking. Did someone ever surprise you, seeing your real self? Share your story below. Sarah turns with a tray, but nearly drops it. She catches herself, heart rattling faster than church bells. Weston gathers fallen cups, his hand brushing Sarah's. For a blink, the world is soft, a moment that almost feels like a promise in the night. He helps, softer than his suit or shoes would say. Sarah's mask starts to crack. Tired eyes drop their guard, and her voice rides the steam from a fresh coffee. We have good days. Bad ones, too. She tells Weston about Emma's pain, about running from one landlord to the next, always hoping winter stays gentle. Weston wants to offer more, but hunger in Sarah's look, the hunger for dignity, not food, stops him. He asks, "What do you need?" She doesn't answer right away. Her shoulder brushes his as she stands. They both smile, awkward and honest. Laughter bubbles, sharp, brief, alive. He glances down, watching her hand settle on the table a little too long. Did caring for someone ever scare you? When does worry turn into something else? Emma watches Sarah and Weston. She asks him quietly, "Are you one of the kind ones?" Weston invites Sarah and Emma to dinner. A warm hotel lounge, all red velvet and candlelight, outside the market madness. Sarah's hands shake when she says yes, half pride, half shock. Emma whispers, "Is this real? Are we allowed here?" Inside, the air lets them breathe. For the first time, Sarah looks Weston in the face, right in the quiet. She listens. He listens back. They talk about dreams from before, about families frayed and stitched. Emma asks about Weston's mom, and he tells the truth, softly, the pain not hidden. Sarah's brave, but Weston sees the places she hides. Her hand wraps around a glass, knuckles white. He barely grazes her fingers once, leaves warmth behind. A smile cracks the tiredness. For a while, Emma giggles in a corner booth, playing with a cloth napkin. Weston wants to say he's lonely, but Sarah says it for him. She says, "Lonely's easy in a city like this." Emma coughs. The room tenses. Sarah stands. Longing clings to her, she wants to stay, wants to run. Ever felt out of place somewhere you wished you belonged? Weston's eyes don't leave hers. The air changes. The night grows thick with promise and risk. Dinner is one moment of real gentleness, until Emma's cough grows rough, sharp as broken glass. Sarah's smile fades. Color drains from her face. She grabs her daughter, stands so fast her chair scrapes across tile. Weston stands with them, reaching out, but Sarah pulls away. Outside, rain begins to fall. The city glitters in wet streaks. The street is all reflection and puddle. Weston tries to help but Sarah steps back, pride and fear tightening her jaw. She snaps, "We're fine," the words slicing the night. They hurry out, rain and wind swirling around them. Weston follows, jaw clenched, heart pounding. Sarah finally spins, her hair plastered to her cheeks by rain. She cries, "You don't know what it's like, having to choose bills or medicine." Her voice cracks with shame and years of holding back. Weston lowers his head in the storm. "I want to help. Let me try." Sarah's lips tremble. She shakes her head, fighting tears and the strange, unwanted heat rising between them. "Could you let down your pride to save the ones you love?" A car passes, headlights flashing. Water beads on Sarah's face, angry and beautiful all at once. She leaves Weston in the rain, Emma bundled against her chest, and disappears into the Chicago night. Sarah moves through the apartment in the dark, every lamp off but the tiniest one in Emma's room. Emma sleeps with a fever, skin flushed. Sarah brushes sweat-damp hair from her daughter's brow, holding tight to her hope as snow pushes against old window glass. Weston lies awake across town, replaying the way Sarah's eyes burned with worry and pride. He cannot stop thinking of her, the sadness and spark at war in her voice. Sarah moves to her bed, wraps a blanket around her shoulders. She lets herself remember the feeling of a gentle hand tracing her spine, the weight of being wanted, once, not now. She sighs for a touch to shore her up, but the night gives only silence. In the market, volunteers from the community center bring a bag of groceries. They leave it by the door, wishing quietly for better days. Sarah wipes her eyes, startled by their kindness. Outside, the city grows colder. Snow builds on windowsills and fire escapes. Have you ever wished someone would notice the struggle you hide? In her dreams, Sarah hears a voice, was it Weston, saying, "You deserve more than fear." She wakes before dawn, heart racing. Emma coughs hard in the next room. Light barely touches the city when Emma's cough shakes the walls. Sarah pulls her from under the covers, fear in every motion. She wraps her tight and runs for the bus, cold air stinging her cheeks. The route to the hospital is long, the driver silent, the heater only half working. Emma wheezes, pale and shaking. Sarah cannot remember the last time she felt so out of control. Weston wakes to a text, a market volunteer worried about Emma. Without thinking, he grabs his keys, throws on clothes, and rushes out, breath fogging in the morning dark. Sarah holds Emma in the emergency room, whispering promises she's not sure she'll keep. The screens blink, nurses ask questions, sadness thick in the air. Weston bursts in, sees Sarah with Emma in her lap. He kneels, puts a hand on Sarah's arm. She doesn't push him away. I know people here. Let me help. Weston finds a doctor he trusts, soon Emma is taken for tests. Sarah's shoulders slump. She buries her head in her hands. Weston sits beside her and, for once, just listens. If someone offered your family a lifeline but it cost your pride, would you take it? Weston puts his arm around Sarah. She lets herself lean in, just for a minute. A doctor steps into the room. His face is serious. Sarah stands at the edge of a choice she never wanted. The doctor says Emma needs medicine Sarah can't afford. Weston steps forward, ready to pay whatever it takes. Sarah's breath catches. She looks from her daughter's face to Weston's outstretched hand. A memory surfaces, warm smiles during nursing classes, the closeness of a lost lover's laugh. That warmth was once all she had. Now it's just another thing gone. Weston admits he spent too long alone, hiding behind money and titles, afraid to trust someone with everything real about him. His voice grows quiet. I want to help, but only if you trust me. Sarah's fingers tremble. For the briefest moment, his hand finds hers. Their touch is gentle, full of hope and guilt. Could you let yourself risk hoping again? Sarah nods. She chooses Emma's life over her fear. The nurses move quickly, the medicine comes. Emma's color improves, slow but steady. Sarah whispers, "Thank you," with eyes wet and shining. Weston doesn't let go of her hand for a long time. Days pass. Emma grows stronger with each sunrise. She draws pictures of the city from her hospital bed, her smile brighter with every marker stroke. Sarah sits at her side, but her attention often drifts to the hall, waiting for Weston. When he arrives, always with coffee, sometimes pastries. Sarah can't help but smile. Breakfasts grow longer. Weston brings music from his phone, old love songs, the kind that make people sway in elevators. Sometimes, Sarah hums along. Their stories spill out, memories, small jokes, awkward truths. Emma soaks it up with wide eyes. Weston invites Sarah and Emma to his home for one afternoon. Sarah hesitates but agrees. Emma is amazed by the high windows and the piano shining under winter sun. Sarah's heart pounds. She fears she's out of place, but Weston says, "You belong here." She laughs, her hand landing on his, their fingers pressing together for a heartbeat too long. Ever wanted something new but feared the cost? During lunch, Weston brushes Sarah's hair off her face. She blushes, letting herself want happiness. When Emma naps on the couch, Sarah and Weston share a quiet kiss, small but brave, before pulling apart. They both feel it, an honest need, old wishes coming to life. Sarah wonders if she can trust the promise in his eyes. Stories break loose in the market, rumors swirl like snow across the plaza. Reporters snap photos. Folks whisper, "Who's the rich guy helping Sarah?" The questions burn. Weston walks at Sarah's side, sensing every gaze. He wants to shield her, but tension crawls beneath his skin. Inside a cafe, Weston and Sarah fight quietly behind mugs of cold coffee. Sarah's hands shake as she asks, "Why are you doing this for us?" Weston leans close, voice low. "You're not just some project. You and Emma make me wish for more." Their legs brush under the table, a secret current of want neither can ignore. Sarah bites her lip, torn between shame and something sweet, unsure if she should pull away. A memory slips from Weston, childhood in a cold house, words hot with anger, love given then taken away. He takes her hand. "I never wanted to feel alone again." Outside, word spreads. An old friend of Sarah's stares through the glass, disbelief and jealousy written across her face. Sarah's ex finds her at the market, voice bitter, eyes sharp. "You think money fixes everything? Is he saving you or owning you?" Weston steps forward, steady but not looking for a fight. Sarah answers for herself. Tension breaks, her words spill out, angry, raw, tired. "I want something better for Emma." "Isn't that what you were supposed to want, too?" Alone afterward, Sarah and Weston argue. The room grows small, tears, harsh words, each one landing heavy. He grabs her hand. She pulls in close, breathless, both of them trembling. Emma hears arguing and storms out in her chair, tears running hard and fast. Guilt slices through Sarah as she watches her daughter will away, head bowed. "Have you ever wanted so much you nearly broke the thing you loved most?" Sarah stares at her hands, longing for comfort. Weston, hand to his chest, wishes he could turn back time. Night folds over Chicago, all neon and dark windows. Emma is missing. Panic rises like winter wind. Weston shoves his hands in his pockets, searching every block, heart hammering. Sarah wanders alleys and lit storefronts, replaying every word she said, guilt eating at each step. She remembers the first time someone held her close, real love making life brighter. She longs for that warmth now, and her tears freeze hot against her cheek. Footsteps echo on wet sidewalk. Weston finds Sarah shivering by a mural, wrapped in her coat. He reaches out, and she collapses into his arms. The anger and need between them explodes into a deep embrace, silent and fierce. They both hold on, breathless. "I can't do this alone," Sarah whispers. Weston presses a kiss into her hair and promises, "You never will." Red and blue lights flash up the street. Fear seizes them both, Emma is all that matters. Sirens fade as morning cuts through the storm. Emma is found down the block, cold and scared, comforted by a kind neighbor and a cup of tea. Relief floods them all, the pain of the night melting in the kitchen's warmth. Sarah holds Emma, promising, "I'm not going anywhere." Weston wraps an arm around both, strength flowing between the three. They all return to the market, welcomed by familiar faces, volunteers, vendors, friends who bring food and stories. People band together, shoveling snow, sharing songs, knitting hope into every word. Weston offers to pay for everything, rent, medicine, future dreams. But Sarah lifts her chin, pride in her spine. "Help us, yes, but don't own us. Let me fight beside you." Weston grins, respect lighting his eyes. That's how family works. What would you do if given a second shot at happiness? Emma takes Sarah's hand, Sarah holds Weston's, and together the world seems possible again. Night returns. The market glows softer, quieter, the crowds fading, snow heavy on roofs and shoulders. Weston stands with Sarah and Emma under golden string lights, their breaths clouding in the cold. He kneels beside Emma, this time in gratitude, not in fear. Emma's hand slips into his. Sarah smiles through tears, feeling a warmth deeper than anything she's ever known. Weston whispers, "If you'll have me, both of you, I promise to show up, every day." Sarah pulls him close, her face pressed to his shoulder. "You already do." Her lips meet his in a quiet, chilly kiss that holds every heartbreak and every hope. Have you ever wanted family so much you reached out past your own scars? Sarah looks out at the lights, then at Emma, her heart full. Sometimes the strongest love is the one you choose every day. Emma's laugh chimes like silver bells. The three walk away together, hands clasped, steps light against the new snow. A promise lives in that final hush, whispered into the Chicago night. A promise that leaves hearts aching, and the world hoping for more.